winds her way down the Western Ghats, holding the secret of a cultural past in her meandering waters. The river has many a story to tell of different peoples, different lifestyles, reflecting a rich heritage in her vicinity. A mute witness to history, she is a strong link with the past, having seen the birth of communities who have made the Western Ghats their home. The mighty hills of the Western Ghats are also part of this churning and also tell a story of a slave tribe who were brought in by the Portuguese to Goa in the western coast of India more than 400 years ago. These are the Siddhis, who are originally from Kenya and Ethiopia. Oppressed and victims of slavery, some escaped into the forests of the neighboring Karnataka and lived off the land. History also suggests that some of them were employed by the Nawabs in the 15th and 16th century as military mercenaries. They were also used to fight the British by chieftains in Karnataka. Etymologists say the word Siddhi is derived from the Arabic Sayyid or Sayyidi, which means leader or master. North Africans call each other Siddhi as a title of respect. All African origin people in India are called Siddhi, even though they all don't come from North Africa. The term has also been referred to in a letter describing the crew on a ship aboard SS Nepal sailing from England to South India. The Siddhis have been called Siddhi men or Negroes who were coal shifters on the ship.
Siddhi, or who are also called Hapsis in India, supposed to have been brought in by slave trade or through slave trade by the Portuguese. And interestingly, they are also part of Asaf Jahi rulers' military. In fact, there is a place called AC Guards in Hyderabad, that is actually African Cavalry Guard. It was a wing of Nizams, and they were very powerful in the armies. In fact, if you look at Ambar Malik was feared by even the Mughals, and you find similarly Razia Sultan also, her closest confidant was a Siddhi. In other words, you will find a large segment of these Siddhis slowly have risen to much better positions, but then they still continue to maintain their ethnic identity, though not cultural identity so much, because they got mixed up with different communities in surrounding areas. They have a belief in spirits, they are like any other tribal communities. This is a community which has come from totally alien kind of a context for themselves and settled here, maybe because of force and other kinds of things, but then they made India their home. There are kind of DNA and other kinds of tests proved that they have links, or they are basically from the Bantu community in Ethiopia and Mozambique areas, because Bantu is a large African tribe. And this, in other words, you will find though they have lost many of their cultural traits, they still retain as a part of the music and also the kind of a dance. These art forms still retain with them, and it is a community, it is largely flourishing in spite of the kinds of changes. I think only anthropologists have studied, some of the sociologists also have studied. I think what is required for us is to preserve their cultural identity, and also in a plural society how they can be an example of accommodation in the wider Indian context.
The drum beat of the Dammam is unmistakably African, and it reverberates around the hills, a call that is definitely close to their heart and reminds them of their roots across the ocean. The Dammam, of course, is a drum beat that has also become part of the Indian culture, as have the Siddhis. The rhythmic call of the Dammam brings all Siddhis together and reminds them of their ancestry.
We have our own culture. Our culture is the Dammam. Any celebration, like the arrival of a newborn, is welcomed with the Dammam. It is very important for all Siddhis. It is the main source of entertainment for any occasion, including weddings.
Over the years, the Siddhis have spread to Goa, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. In Karnataka, they are mainly found in Yellapura, Haliyal, Ankola, Mundgod, and Sirsi taluks of Uttara Kannada, and also in Belgaum and Dharwad districts. When you see a Siddhi, you recognize him by his African-like looks. An athletic build, distinctly short curly hair, bright eyes, snub nose, thick lips, and a dark complexion. But the Siddhi today is not the tribal he was, hiding in the thick jungles of these hills and living off the bounty of the forests. The Siddhi of today has come out and is the son of the soil. He is no more an African and is part of the green hills lining the western boundaries of India.
The Siddhis had three basic cultural identities: the Dammami, the Pugadi, and the Sangya Bale. Sangya Bale was not originally Siddhis, but it is now a part of our culture. On a special occasion, like a festival, these are performed through the night till daybreak. All the neighbors come and watch. Today, because of the influence of cinema, many people do not do it. They do dance sometimes, but with modern dresses. Earlier, traditions like keeping the doorstep and tulsi clean were followed. They would also put a unique rangoli called the Sedi. Today, life has become very artificial. In the name of development, many things have changed. For example, our houses had mud and bamboo walls, and we would paint designs on them. Today, the government has given us concrete houses. All these traditions are vanishing. But this culture remains a part of Hindu, Muslim, and Christian Siddhi households. Many say that the tribals should stay in the forest itself, but in that process, we would still be staying in the same forest, the same house, and there would be no development. In a way, I feel that modernity should come in, but we have to respect our culture and ethos.
This unique tribe worked for the local people and over the years adopted different religions. These religions have links to the masters who provided them shelter. Rituals, prayers, and even the way they live have been influenced by these religious beliefs. Today, we have Hindu, Muslim, and Christian Siddhis. Their tribal faiths are forgotten, and we have different gods adorning their homes. The spatial dimension of a Siddhi living is influenced by history. Religion has a direct correlation to their living. A peek at their style of living clearly indicates their religious beliefs. Hindu Siddhis, a majority of whom live inside the forest, keep their communication intact with their towns and villages. They prefer independent hardis and orchards because historically they have learnt agriculture from the local Brahmins and religion here could have been part of a survival strategy.
ಹಿಂದೂ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬುಡದವರಿಗಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೆ.
I used to work in a Brahmin's house. I learned farming from them. Now I have my own farm to look after.
Muslim and Christian Siddhis live in colonies near the town. All of them are slowly losing their identity as a separate community, except for their different physical features. They are now part of the social dynamics and evolving as a people who have local identities. Even though their faiths are different, their language is a binding factor. They speak a mixture of Marathi, Kannada, and Konkani. The Muslims also speak Urdu.
नहीं पहले तो पूरा अलग अलग.
I look after this mosque, and all the Muslims nearby come and pray here. We have no differences with our Hindu and Christian brethren. Religion does not separate us.
ಅವರು ಏನಂದರೆ
We may have accepted different religions, but we're all basically Siddhis. We are all one as Siddhis. The Tamam binds us together as one single community.
ನಮ್ಮ ಧರ್ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು.
The story of this Indo-African tribe, Siddhis, integrating into the main culture is one of its kind in India. The anthropologically sensitive tribe has adapted to changes, burying their own roots with the past. Their lives in small hamlets in the northern part of Karnataka have metamorphosed them as citizens of an urbanized society. In the 21st century, the Siddhis have no claim to their African roots and have formed new cultural and religious identities influenced by conventional society.
In olden times, there were no intermarriages. We have no objection if our children intermarry. It's not like before, where the elders decided whom to marry. Now we marry and mingle with each other. We still worship our ancestors. We keep coconuts and pray for them. I do it for my elders, and when I'm gone, my children will continue these ceremonies for me.
The tree-lined avenues in the forest take you through unseen paths. But the tall trees, who themselves are more than 200 years old and stretch towards the sky, will lead you to a Siddhi home. The last mile has to be walked, and even the resident birds and the guard dogs greet you. Hidden away in a cluster of trees is a Siddhi home. Sometimes one has to cross a stream flowing inside the forest to reach one's home. Spread over perhaps a couple of acres, the mud home is surrounded by coconut, arecanut trees. This orchard is their main source of livelihood. Meet the family members and you realize the younger generation has moved out of the woods and are striving to make a mark in the urban world. For them, their ancestral beginnings are valuable But they also realize that they have to be part of modern society to grow as a people.
When our ancestors settled down here, whoever worked in a Hindu house followed Hinduism, a Siddhi in a Muslim house followed Islam, and a Siddhi in a Christian house followed Christianity. My thought is that if at any point of time we all leave these religious sentiments and have only one God, we could be one group of Siddhis. I can still say that we haven't progressed economically or politically, and we still have to educate ourselves to see progress. We are in a state where we're not fully tribal, nor have we become fully urbanized.
The streets of Yellapur town in Uttar Kannada district has a healthy population of Siddhi youth mingling with other communities. They may look foreign, but the Indian way of life is part of their culture now. The Siddhi families are very much part of the weekly Sante or market in the town. This unique tribe was brought under the list of scheduled tribes in 2003 to empower them constitutionally and also recognize them as part of the Indian ethos. Successive governments have introduced policies to provide homes, water facilities, employment opportunities, roads, electricity, and other modern facilities.
Economically, socially, educationally, very, very, very backward people. Original came from South Africa, then to Goa, and then migrated to our places. Mainly they are in my own constituency, Halyar constituency. So we took the lead, and I'm grateful to Government of India, state government, that they have been declared as scheduled tribes now. Many schemes are being implemented for them, and we are taking keen interest. And I'm happy to tell you that now most of them have their houses. They are going to schools and colleges. Slowly we are finding postgraduates, lawyers coming out of them, but a lot has to be done. So state government is totally committed for the welfare of the Siddhis all round. The most important thing which we are doing is the Government of India's Act, the Tribal Act, giving them rights, forest rights. You see, regularization if they were cultivating forest lands and all. And many have got in my constituency. We have already given them the patas, but some have to be done. That is also our priority. The government of Karnataka, we have formed a cabinet subcommittee and we are going in this direction. A lot of Siddhi women, Siddhi people have become the chairmans, vice chairman, member of panchayats, they have come to taluk panchayats, and they are giving good results. They are taking a keen interest in the development activities also now.
The younger Siddhis today are teachers, sportsmen, administrators, besides being agriculturists, farm laborers, and look forward to being part of the mainstream society. Sports comes naturally to Siddhis. Many of them have made their mark at the national and international level. Looking at their sporting abilities, governments have exclusive policies to train Siddhi youth to exploit their potential.
I have dreamt of becoming an international football player since I was a child. I have met players from all over the world. I have practiced football alone. Now I play matches with them. I would like to play like Pele and play for my country. I go to every village and teach football to children.
Children are encouraged to have a holistic approach to life. also able to raise their voice against injustices meted out to them and seek justice democratically. Men and women both work and live with equal zest and are comfortable in their semi-urban and rural environments. This adaptation to an urban environment is not only in the lifestyles but also evolving a cultural distinction by absorbing the customs of the hills. Women are also empowered. They work hard as farm laborers, save money, and hope that the next generation has a better life. Self-help groups give them an opportunity to be economically independent. Young women look forward to a good education.
I want my people to progress. I would like to see my people literate. Most of them get married without getting educated. I would like that to change. There are many Siddhis who are doing very well. I too want to come up like them.
But their inherent love for song, dance and the pugadi come from the heart. They dance instinctively, sing naturally, and the rhythm of life reflects in their music.
I am the Panchayat President. Before this, I stood for the elections and became a member of the Panchayat. A lot of facilities have been given by the Panchayat for the ST people. Drinking water, wells, tanks. We have also built roads and given houses. Our people should come forward and take the facilities. I always pray to God that I get the opportunity to grow and would like to work at the taluk and the district levels.
Gangamma Siddhi and Lakshman Siddhi have seen many summers. They have seen their tribe change from being a unique clan to a member of the mainstream. They accept religion as a way of life and see no link with their native beliefs.
Things have changed over the years. Modernity is now a part of the Siddhi culture. In my days, we would drink toddy. Now, everybody drinks alcohol. Hindu, Muslim and Christian Siddhis would not mingle with each other. But now, we all dine together.
Given a choice, they would perhaps go back into the forest, which gave them a long and healthy life. But also see the futility. The younger generation stick to their forgotten roots. For them, their people have moved on, and rightly so. A Siddhi is no more an African living the Indian life. He's an Indian who is part of her history and ethos. The river Kali, the green ghats, and a glorious sunset are all witness to this inevitable change.